30-second card is sideways. The revs come up, and the gate here in Florida's down.
There's a lot more clay behind the gate now than there used to be. Last year it was all sand.
Yeah, the guy's got to gamble on tire choice and everything when it comes to that. But Cianciarulo, I thought he had the whole shot, and we got our title contenders right up front. Osborne sneaking it by to take that motorsport.com whole shot. Cianciarulo right back.
Yeah, that was really close. You could see they were almost rubbing elbows coming through that section. Look at Sexton, fastest in qualifying, wastes no time getting past championship leader Osborne.
Wow, that's the setup you want to see, Kenny.
Yeah, check out in the next lap on these rollers right there. Chase was doubling these last two of them. He did that a couple of times in practice, and I haven't seen anybody else doing it, so he's carrying a lot more momentum, and it's going to be a lot easier on his body.
And Osborne, little mistake on the outside, allows Sexton to lock down that number 2 spot. So Cianciarulo led them into the first turn. Osborne passed him. Cianciarulo gets him back, and then Sexton goes by as well. This is where AC's been doing his work as of late from the front. He's got that spot again, GL. Musquin looking good in fourth.
I was just going to say, good to see Marv up there. He got a decent start on the 25 Red Bull KTM. And last year's winner, so another contender that's near the front.
Musquin going to work on Osborne right now. He is down 20 in the championship. The big story is AC, who's down 15, but he has got company. Rider he rides with all week long. Chase Sexton, who has been so strong on this racetrack, closing the gap. So the kid's showing how it's done right now. 2 rookies up front, Kenny.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, 2 of my close friends, and it's kind of hard, you know. I'll try not to pick and choose. Either one can win on my watch. You know, I'm surprised with Marvin. I was expecting him to need a little bit of an adjustment time just because he did crash and he was out and he didn't do any more laps. And especially with the track, you see how it's still sloppy. They watered really heavy in the morning. There's still a lot of moisture in, but he's doing really good right now.
He's right in it, and then let's throw another name in it. Justin Barsha is 5th. There he is in blue, right behind Musquin.
That's not who Marv wants behind him. He and Barsha have a bit of a history. And Bam Bam really seems to express his nickname on the number 25 in front of him. So, Marv, get going.
I feel like it used to be a little bit more quiet just in the recent months, and now that Justin has obviously ridden really good being out front, you see the Bam Bam coming back out a little bit,
It's true, Supercross is a little bit measured, but he's come back with a vengeance now. Then you see Baggett at the number 4, who's been so strong the last races. Went 2-2 at our last event. He's got work to do as Barsha, Musquin, Osborne, all close here, 3rd, 4th, 5th.
Marv had a nice line through those rollers, just came through that little chicane beforehand, then pulls to the left, gets a smooth drive, and then was tripling into those rollers and made up a bit of time.
Sexton started to close a bit on Cianciarulo. What surprised me, Kenny, is Adam has admitted that during the week, he's like, I got nothing for Chase. The lap times are unbelievable.
Chase is a very good practicer.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it's really hard to keep up with the guy, especially consistently, you know. I mean, obviously racing is always a little bit of a different story, but these guys have been around each other for this whole outdoor season, so this will feel familiar to them.
Yeah, and they're in familiar-ish soil. How similar is this track to where you guys ride during the week in Florida?
Well, it really depends. Honestly, at the sandbox, the dirt conditions are actually almost identical. You know, you see on some of these spots where Keys to the Moto is managing the conditions and the dirt. You have some of these super hard-packed square edges on the bottom. This is exactly how the sandbox is where I'm riding at. Adam and Chase are currently riding at Stewart's, and the dirt's actually quite a bit different. They have a couple of little sand sections, but it's mostly red clay and super tacky and a very nice flowing track, so this is, of course, a little bit different.
All right, we'll see how they adapt. Little mistake there from Sexton. A little bit of the gap for Adam.
Well, a few corners ago, one of those left-handers, he got so close to the inside, let the bike over his shoulder, hit the inside banking. There was a puff of dust that came up. So probably cutting that a little close.
Like a road race level we were talking about, laying that thing down as far as he can go. And Osborne is the man looking to take advantage of that. He is lurking in 3rd.
Yeah, I think on this lap, it looks to me like Sexton's just made a few little mistakes. You can see it's cost him a few bike lengths, but obviously that brings Osborne right back into the mix. But front 4 different factory teams, actually front 5, all different factory teams. Yeah.
Zach was really good at these kind of conditions last year. I believe that he probably won, I believe. So I think he's probably watching right now, and you know, seems like he really likes these conditions. So I'm expecting him to strike also, or try and strike again later in the Moto for sure.
Yeah, he also won a Moto at Southwick last year, the other sand track that's normally part of this schedule. So waiting for Osborne to get it rolling.
I've noticed the trend. I don't know what you think, Kenny, but it seems to me that the riders that have got like Grand Prix or European experience tend to do well here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is one of the only tracks that is a sandy, you know. We do talk about this hard base, which is just like Southwick too, but I would say Southwick and this track right here are the sandiest type of tracks that you get. In Europe, we have a little bit more bottomless sand, right? There's no end to it, which I prefer. But, I mean, we all, you know, all the top riders are based out of Florida right now. We get these conditions a lot, so should feel familiar.
Yeah, same thing with Osborne. He's one of them riding at Elda Baker's place. So, right, it's throw a blanket over these guys as far as who has an advantage today. Musquin rides at the same place Osborne does. Barsha has property in Florida. So, yeah, all 5 guys running up front right now. Joey Savacci, he's 6th, Florida guy. Baggett lives in Florida, 7th. Got to go back to 8th, Eli Tomac. Then it's Noren and Craig riding out the top 10. All right, GL, what direction is this going to go? All 4 of these guys starting to tighten up.
All 4, I'd go with all 5.
You can say that with
Cianciarulo's not gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a small gap, but he's not gone by any means. But to answer your question, Weege, I have no idea.
That's what's so fun this year.
2020's brought us Sexton, if he can get his rhythm again. We've seen this from Chase. He'll have a couple great laps, and then sometimes somewhere in the moto, it looks like he's losing it a little bit, and then he just pulls it right back up, drops his lap times, and finds his groove. So if Sexton can do that again, I think he's going to be all over Cianciarulo. If this is all he's got, I got a feeling Osborne, when that Geico 15-minute board comes out for him, he's going to flick that switch and go forward. And we know Marv's strong. He won you last year. So I think that battle that is on screen, it's got to change up just a little bit. I got a feeling Osborne's going to make the pass at some point.
Yeah, and you're seeing Barsha starting to close in a bit on Musquin. He got the number 25 and the 51 here. This long, almost never-ending left-hander which begins the next lap. Just impressive that Musquin is even out here. That was a wallop of a crash, and he looks good right now.
Yeah, that's his little sneaky line up the inside there. It's working for him, and it's pretty smooth, and it's fast.
Yeah, he stretched it back on Barsha just in that section alone. Then right behind them, you've got Savacci, the JGR Yoshimura Suzuki, and then your 3-time defending champ Eli Tomac. He's going to get stirring here in the number 7 spot. And then behind him is Baggett. So we'll follow this battle. Talking to Savacci this week, man, he did not mince words. He said, yeah, I'm racing for my future. I don't have a deal for 2021 locked in. And then he said, I'm not doing myself any favors. It has been a struggle for Savacci coming back from a hellacious injury to his foot, broken heel at the end of 2019, and switching teams here to Suzuki. So a lot on his plate. Looking a little better here, though, the 17. Holding Tomac and Baggett at bay. That's not easy to do. And Will, you got more on Savacci.
We're just backing up what you were saying there, Jason, when I was talking to Justin, sorry, excuse me, when I was talking to Savacci there, he was telling me that just the whole process of having to test at the track is just so challenging. And I said, you know, is that necessary? And he's like, yeah, when you're with a new team, that's constantly the way it is. He called it musical chairs. When you're jumping from team to team, you've got no choice but to test at the track. And he said, that's just difficult because every time you go out there, he's like, this moto is us testing right now. We don't know.
That's not probably the way you want to do it.
Well, it looks to me as if that is the case, because watch his Suzuki when it comes into some of those corners. I know there's these little stutter bumps and everyone's getting some movement, but the front end of that Suzuki looks just a little, in my opinion, a little unpredictable at the moment, a little nervous.
I was about to say the exact same thing. If you watch Savacci's bike a little bit on the front end, you can definitely see some tucking, but this track is the hardest on your bike that way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, it's really hard to explain, but it feels like you're having 2 flat tires front and rear, as silly as it might sound, but it is so slippery underneath.
Yeah, let's not talk about flats. Osborne's going to cringe.
Yeah. Not scared anybody. Tomac is close to the back of Savacci, and then, trust me, that's Blake Baggett. You can't tell with the number. He has been completely covered in roots from Tomac. And just waiting for Eli to get it going. Again, it has not been a bad summer, but certainly not up to his usual standards. Not even up on the podium overall the last couple of rounds, and is basically taking the shot for the 4th straight title out of his reach. Just waiting for him to catch fire. Look, probably no one has battled Eli Tomac more than you, Kenny. Do you have any idea why we haven't quite seen the A+ level?
It's a very difficult situation.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's in the same boat when it comes to, you know, how COVID hit and we're not racing, but I mean, I would give the guy a break, you know. I mean, he's delivered the last 3 outdoor nationals in a row. He's won the Supercross side that he's chased for so long, and then just to go back, you know, or this uncertainty of when we're going to race where, and just, you know, you got to stay ready for so long. And I feel like a couple of the top guys are not racing right now, which is, you know, me, I was third, and then obviously Cooper. So the other guys are just, you know, I think still a little bit hungry, and it's just a different mental game when you're fighting for a championship, like how he had to for Supercross. So not sure what the issue is right now, but it's tough being out there all year and doing this, and you know, you run into a couple of issues. It's tough, but at the same time, he's done so good in the past. I'm sure he's just looking for a little break, you know. And the new season's right around the corner too.
Thought he was going to get Savatgy there. Yeah, one thing to stress to the fans at home: this championship is normally over at the end of August, so we were going into overtime essentially because of the huge breaks that we had to have with the pandemic, and everybody had a different strategy during that break. Who rode, who trained, who rested.
Well, the issue was, right, because it was, oh, maybe in 2 weeks, and then maybe in 3 weeks, and then maybe in 1 week. Maybe if you know, you couldn't have really said that, or they could have, but I think they were just feeling everything out. But
yeah, if it was set, you could have planned.
You could have planned, exactly. Take some time off and up, but it was always just pushed such small bits and pieces that we had to stay ready.
Tomac finally able to make the move on Savatgy, so that'll move the champion up to 6th on his Kawasaki. Savatgy now going to have to deal with Baggett. But Joey just happened to be back up in the mix and duking it out with these guys as Cianciarulo leads Sexton by a second and a half. All right, so we continue. You can see Cianciarulo. You said he's not gone. He is not. I think Sexton has gathered it back together here. Here we come.
It's funny how Sexton is able to do that. In fact, if you look at the last lap, Cianciarulo ran his best lap. No, sorry, I missed that one.
You'll get it.
But they were close to their best lap.
Yeah.
Sexton almost mirrored his best lap. Osborne, same thing, was almost the same. So these guys are pushing it right now. They've obviously found their groove, found their line.
Each split that they get to, the track is divided, I think, into 3 different split times. It's a 10th or 2 here or there in favor of Sexton. It was 1.7. Now it's 1.5. He is starting to get the number 9 in his sights, and all the while lurking is Osborne. Oh, and a mistake from Adam. Sexton to the inside almost takes advantage. So now it's going to be wheel to wheel. Gio, it's good.
Yeah, Sexton good through that section. AC was pretty good, but came in the corner. Bike got a little unsettled. Didn't get to that inside line. Cost him a few bike lengths, but that's going to really, you know, kind of get Sexton motivated, because he's not silly. He knows that points lead is right behind him. So if he can get Cianciarulo sooner rather than later, he can try and make a quick break and hope that that's enough to hold everyone off for the rest of the moto.
And Adam now settling it back down on the number 9, trying to hold Sexton off. So this is maybe just the calm before the storm. You got to figure a big battle brewing with these 3 up front: Cianciarulo, Sexton, Osborne.
Zach Osborne, the fastest rider on the track right now, in the number 3 spot.
Passionate streetcar builders come together to compete at the most famous tracks around the country. It's Optima's search for the ultimate streetcar. Fridays, 8 Eastern and Pacific on MAV TV Motorsports Network. And we have a race for you right now. Adam Cianciarulo, Chase Sexton going at it, scrubbing together. Who's going to get the advantage on the inside of this corner? Sexton, he's got it.
Yeah, he used that line Kenny was just talking about, doubling out of that rhythm at the end there. So Sexton doing something that no one is, and that was enough to get the pass, but Cianciarulo fights right back.
Oh, he's going to put himself on the inside of this next right-hander. Can he carry enough speed to get it done? He does.
Adam does not want to go back right now because he's in a good position about keeping a clean goggle, not just getting roosted, because closing the gap and passing are 2 completely different stories. On the other hand,
Sexton, woo, feet off the pegs. That was passenger for a moment. Gathers it back up. Yeah, by the way, Grant, they've stepped it up, pulled away a little bit from Osborne.
Yeah, but the lap time showed that Osborne actually closed on them last lap a little bit, so maybe he just made a slight mistake, or maybe Sexton was just so good through that timing section that he pulled away just on pure pace. But it'll be fun to watch next lap around. But I'm with you, Kenny. That's his spot right now.
I wonder if the yo-yoing that they're doing a little bit is when you have a clear track and you can ride the way you want to ride, you close right back up. But then making the difference in passing is just, I mean, you have to go, you know, you have to be put in a big effort to actually make it happen. And Osborne might be waiting right now.
Yeah, Osborne's very intelligent rider. That's one thing you got to give him. Like right now, some people might think, oh, he's battling to hang on. No. Osborne's watching. He's keeping his vision clear. He's watching all the different lines. And we're about that time, Jason.
Yeah, 15 minutes to go. You can save 15% or more on your insurance by calling Geico. But Grant Langston is calling that this is where Zach Osborne's probably going to ratchet it up, and he has done exactly that. Now he has Sexton in his sights from third.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get a little bit interesting, because if you, I mean, we could debate this, but I think at the very moment, I think the rider in third is the quickest, the rider in second, the second quickest, and the guy leading might be the slowest of the group. And I'm talking 10th of a second here. Yep. But and this is critical for the championship.
Was that the jump you're talking about?
Yep, exactly. Adam didn't do it. That's why Chase did it on the last lap, and he carried so much momentum around the outside and made the pass finally here going into the turn, and Adam caught onto that and started doing it now too.
And you can see those front ends dancing around for everybody when they come into these corners.
Yeah, and we often talk about your suspension's there to be used and it's going to move. It's when it does a few things that I saw Savacci's bike do, which makes me think, yeah, he's right. He's not 100% dialed in on that machine yet. And it does a few things a little unpredictable at times.
1.3 is the gap between Cianciarulo and Sexton. A lap ago, they were battling it out, passing each other back and forth for the lead. Can Sexton put it back together? It's getting around Adam Entignap here, putting him a lap down. And we thought the charge was coming from Osborne. Not quite yet. Really depends, though, I think, on what part of the track that we're seeing them. Who has a strength, who has a weakness?
Well, I wonder if Osborne's going to see them doubling that section and pick up on that. I'm pretty impressed that Adam was able just to uncork that midway through a race.
Okay, steady as she goes for Cianciarulo, but Sexton and Osborne are right there. See the GoPro on the top of Cianciarulo. Show you what this track is like, our GoPro course preview. This is from practice earlier today. Track not quite as rough. Certainly a fast way to get around WW Ranch. Back to the battle here. Adam Cianciarulo, Chase Sexton, Zach Osborne. They've had a small breakaway. Not too far back would be Marvin Musquin and Justin Barsha, 4th and 5th. And it's Tomac, Baggett, Savacci, Norin, Christian Craig. Sexton wants a piece of the lead again.
Oh, it's with the lappers, it's going to make things really interesting. They're not coming on one or two at a time. It's a whole gaggle up there.
And this is the closest group now. Baggett is catching Tomac. This is for 6th and 7th. So two different battles to watch right now as they weave through the traffic. Tomac and Baggett certainly familiar with each other. They've been racing each other since their days on mini cycles.
This track is just so fast. Like, it's unusual fast than what we're used to. Everything is so open. The turns are super wide, and you keep your momentum up everywhere.
You ever end up coming here for any other reason, or just the National last year?
No, last year, and there's usually a couple of practice days that we get to ride out here just to check out the track and you know, see if we have to make any changes. That's what we did last year, but I think this year, I think the Baker guys were all here, but I think that was it.
Okay, so we're keeping track of Tomac and Baggett. They're 6th, 7th. Ahead of them is Barsha and Musquin, and then only 3.6 seconds between our top three. And there they are, Cianciarulo, Sexton, and Osborne forever lurking in the number 3 spot.
I think he may have lost just a couple bike lengths through that lapper exchange. In fact, at one point, it actually helped Sexton a little bit. He got right on Adam, but I think it kind of worked itself out in the end. But oh, look at
Sexton, a big launch. Coming right up on him.
He's finding that little sweet pocket there.
The battle is back. Chase Sexton has caught Adam Cianciarulo again for the number 1 spot. 450 class Moto 1 of Lucas Oil Pro Motocross here from Jacksonville, Florida. And we're about to enter the stretch run of this race. We're past the halfway mark, 10 minutes and 2 laps to go. And they've taken the measure of Osborne here in third in white just for the moment.
Yeah, you can see some bumps starting to form.
It seems like Chase has picked up the intensity a little bit. I don't know if you can tell in the last half a lap or so, he was, you know, quite a bit closer, putting on a push. I think he wants to get by Adam so he can get a clean track.
Oh, he's going for it right now on the 23, the red Honda, trying to get Cianciarulo.
Oh, they're both doing that now, so Sexton's like, I was behind him. How does he know? He took away my little secret spot. There's nothing worse than having a secret passing spot and then someone figures it out. And you're like, oh, now what? I got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and they're weaving their way through lap traffic as well. And again, these are two riders that have ridden together during the week for years. They switched. We're at the Moto Sandbox. GL, that's your old place. And now they ride at James Stewart's place. So either way, though, they're doing motos during the week together. And they're doing it again here. But now for the lead in a points-paying race.
Yeah, it's getting tricky. Lap rider takes a look over his shoulder, goes, I'm just getting way out of this one.
Sexton, does he have a place picked out?
He did. I think.
Exactly.
I think he did. He thought he did. Oh, those are those little
square edges.
Hey, at least, Kenny, I know you react like we do every time someone looks like they're about to crash. We can't help ourselves. You're like,
100%. It's an immediate notice, and I don't know. I do that. Under the helmet, not so much.
Yeah,
but from the outside, yep.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Chase probably didn't even like realize it under the helmet. It's sometimes under the helmet doesn't feel as bad as it looks from the outside. This track requires a little bit of a different bike setup because it is so fast and so loose up top, and you get a lot of tucking in the front. People usually pull their forks out a little bit more, make the bike kind of have a little bit more of a chopper feeling in the rear to get more stability and not have to push the front so much.
Well, it also lengthens the whole wheelbase. So if you take a tape measure from front axle to rear axle, what Kenny's saying is when you put them down, it changes the attitude of the bike into, like you said, a bit more of a chopper. So the front is a little higher, as well as making the bike longer, so it's stable in these sections right there.
Yep.
I love the chopper term, like a Harley where they're super laid back.
That's what we say. If the bike feels low in the rear, we say it feels choppered.
Yeah,
like a Harley.
Need to raise the sag a little bit.
Okay, so Sexton had that fury there one lap ago, couldn't quite make it happen, and now Cianciarulo is able to maintain it, and Osborne back in the picture again. You'll see him in a moment from third. What will change late in this moto? There's the line from Sexton. Now AC is switched to the inside.
Marvin and Barsha have dropped off a little bit with the front three.
Yeah, could be down to these three, and we cannot stress enough how important this is for the championship. Cianciarulo's down 15. He would make up 5 if this moto ends like this. So that Sexton going almost off track there.
I was going to say, that looked like a mistake.
This crew has tightened up quite a bit now. Osborne is on Sexton, and Adam's obviously not far out either.
Sexton was just flirting with the track markers there on the outside for a moment.
That turn, though, is so typical for that because they don't really put a bank or a berm or anything, so it's super flat, and then underneath how hard it is and loose up top, you just push the front and you make these super... You don't even finish the actual rut. Everything just pushes to the outside and you're off the track. You know what I've paid attention to actually in practice, when that big anthill, everybody was jumping off the track because the takeoff is at an angle, and everybody like technically jumped off straight, but they all landed off the track.
Oh, Osborne is right there now on Sexton, and he wants more. He not only wants second, he wants to get to the leader, Cianciarulo, so this is about to get good between these three.
Ooh, to see Osborne, he went for a tear-off and almost lost the bars there. It's getting that time of the moto where patience is starting to run out.
Sexton airing out that one and allows him to draw back up to the leader, with Osborne not too far back. Oh, this is awesome. All three riders in the same shot, and championship implications in this picture as well.
Huge.
I don't like the exit of the inside-outside. I would go outside-inside, if that makes sense, in the split lane.
Yep.
Here we go, another lap down. 5 minutes and 2 laps to go, just under 6 minutes actually. Cianciarulo, a little look over.
Osborne the fastest out of the top crew with a 2:12.3. Chase a 2:13.7 and a 13.3 for Adam.
All right, so yeah, Osborne on the charge now. He sees an opening, side by side. Little more momentum around the outside. That bails Sexton out. Osborne charges again.
Sexton saw him there and just got enough throttle. Let's see if he pulls away.
Zach sideways.
He was almost crashing the whole way into that corner, and he still kept the gas on.
I was just about to ask if Osborne actually caught on to the little double, but obviously we didn't get there.
Oh, around the outside.
Outside, what?
Wow.
How did he make that happen?
Momentum. Big Mo.
All right, so Osborne, you can see he got close, and he was not going to take no for an answer. Making mistakes, he held that thing wide open and eventually able to get around Sexton. So now we have Cianciarulo versus Osborne, 1 and 2 in points. Are 1 and 2 on the track, though it is reverse order where they are in the series right now.
Well, Adam's going to come around and probably get the pit board that said Sexton plus 0. Now it's going to say Osborne, and that's not going to be the most comforting feeling.
Like Zach is in a little bit of a kind of not a must pass, but kind of like you don't want to let Adam get too close in points, but you don't want, like he's been doing a couple of mistakes here and there in that last lap.
He's hanging it all out.
Definitely.
And I think he might be also running out of vision, as in, I don't know if he's got any more tear-offs left. I saw him give a wipe, or maybe he knows he's almost out. That's probably why
he is flying right now. He's already going for it side by side.
Wow.
Looking to go from third to first here in the course of 1 lap. Zach Osborne completes the pass. That was a statement right there.
Yeah. I think one of the reasons was he figured, I'm just going to lay it all out because I'm out of vision.
Right back.
He just hit a couple of outside lines too that kind of slingshotted him a little bit and got a little bit better momentum coming out of the turns.
Wow, well, this is huge for him to catch these two kids and get around them and fairly quickly. And I don't know, can the number 9 or the 23 go with him? The now 31-year-old Zach Osborne, yesterday was his birthday, showing the rookies how it's done. This is impressive. Down the stretch, we knew he'd put in a charge. But this has been solid.
Yeah, you can tell he's pushing, and I don't think that he's 100% comfortable on that Husky. You can see the suspension definitely just bouncing around a little bit. I'm sure they'll go make some tweaks between the Moto, but Osborne on the edge. If I was Adam, I would be doing everything I could to stay with him and maybe put him under pressure and hope that if the bike isn't 100% dialed in, that maybe he makes that little mistake.
I knew that Zach was going to do that too. I said earlier, I feel like he's kind of just feeling everything out and puts on that later charge. And I mean, he made it happen in like what, a matter of a half a lap?
Unbelievable. Wow. And now starting to stretch it, Ken. So it could be down to this. Cianciarulo certainly doesn't want to take a loss to Osborne for the points, but second is not a guarantee either. Sexton's right there, GL.
Oh my!
Wow.
Look at Osborne on this last lap he has a 2:11.8. Adam a 2:15.0 and 15.1 for Sexton.
4 seconds faster.
3.
That is impressive. Unbelievable. So Osborne just ate these guys up, and like we're saying about Dylan Ferrandis in the 250 class, trying to reestablish control. And here are the moves around the outside of Chase Sexton. And not far after, side by side with Adam Cianciarulo, makes it happen. The veteran taking the measure of the rookies, taking the lead here at WW Ranch. Two seconds is the gap between Osborne and this battle, Cianciarulo and Sexton. Then it's Musquin Barsha in the top 5. So it's not over. Sexton is absolutely in striking distance of the 9.
He's got to be tired of eating all this roost the entire race, all over Cianciarulo, and then Osborne makes it look so easy.
He went deep.
Yeah, landed a little long. Gathers it back up for the corner. So now, this is going to be a stretch run. Oh, Adam's not too far back. That 2 seconds there, you can see it in some of the longer sections of the track. Going to be a minute and 2 laps left. We are back. It is not over. The top 3 still in the same shot. This track is rough. It is gnarly. Ken Roxon, we've been watching an exchange of mistakes for all these riders.
Yeah, the track is no joke right now. Everybody's making a lot of little mistakes that could cost big time, but this is so this track. Like I expected this to shape up that way.
Adam Cianciarulo led the majority of this moto. Zach Osborne put on an unbelievable charge before he went to break. He was able to get around Sexton and Cianciarulo. Cianciarulo matching him now, but he's going to make 2 seconds up once Osborne put in that solid lap. He not only got him, he gapped him a little.
Yeah, but AC's trying.
Yep.
He's digging deep. He's doing what, you know, title contenders have to do. And like Kenny alluded to how fast Osborne was, but then Cianciarulo and Sexton went from 2:15s to 2:13s that last lap. So obviously with Osborne coming by, it really sent a message to these guys, and they've picked it up.
It's going to be 2 to go next time around.
I think Cianciarulo's closed it up slightly on this lap.
And we do have spectators here today at WW Ranch. They're cheering it. It's great action that they've been treated to in this one. Oh, I think Osborne stretched it back out. It's an exchange of tenths in each section of the racetrack. What's this like for Osborne if he can get this thing, and especially this way, to just take all that momentum back?
Yeah, it's going to feel so good, especially after last week when you have a flat. You sometimes leave a little disappointed, even though it wasn't his riding performance, it was the outcome. Now you come back, you see, he takes a little look over, gets a 2-lap card. He's like, yes, when you're in the lead and you're pushing, that 2-lap card feels good. But yeah, I think as far as the championship goes, and everyone talking about, you know, Cianciarulo and how great he's been riding, and he's in this, and he, you know, is he the new champ? Osborne's going to get tired of that very quickly, and this was just another statement ride from this guy.
And now he's really pulled it out. 4 seconds nearly over Cianciarulo and 6 on Sexton. So this one could be over. Ken, you were there in Utah, the last Supercross. This guy got a win, and really, as we always say, you get that first one, man, and it has been rolling for Osborne pretty strong since.
Yeah, he definitely had his stuff figured out towards the end of Supercross, and obviously out here right now, which I said earlier, I thought about it, I'm like, man, every time I race, this never happens, how kind of like mixed up the field it has been, and the point gaps, I feel like, have been changing so much.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time I've raced out here during outdoors, you have to get on the podium or else the front guy is just too far gone.
Yeah, this has been the year of, we've been saying it all year, you lose, if you're 1% off, that's the difference between 1st and 5th or 7th, which is, yeah, I mean, how many years was it, say, you, Tomac, and Marvin?
Yeah.
And that's just the way it's going to be no matter what. Maybe the order changes, but this year, yeah.
This would be so huge for him. I mean, he's 30 years old, he's got 2 kids, you know, it's been a long time since, if at all, that has happened doing something like that. It would be his first outdoor championship.
Yeah, to do it in the 450 class, I would think this would make him the oldest champion, but we got a long way to go. 5 motos left, and this one's not done. You can see AC's still digging back there. He's trying, GL.
You have to. You can't just say, well, I'm gonna roll over, I'm gonna settle, just tone it down and be fresh for Moto 2. These guys train hard, and if you add them, you've got to keep the pressure on. Make, if nothing else, even if he doesn't pass Osborne, push him all the way to the checkered flag. Hey, maybe he doesn't recover as well as you do.
I just don't think this is going to... If you look at the lap times, a 12.000 and a 13.9 and a 14.8 for Sexton, that is a big difference in one lap, huh?
Yeah, well, you can see, I mean, these guys were wheel to wheel for most of this race, and now there's 6.5 seconds between the 3. And by the way, there's another moto coming up, and not a lot of recovery time, and there's no doubt they were leaving a lot out there on the racetrack for the lap to go. Well, Ken, it was great having you stop by. Have you actually been riding at all? Have you done any riding, or are you still in the recuperation mode here?
I rode once when was that? I think Tuesday or something like that. Yeah, I went and rode one time, and you know, felt a little bit foreign. Was out there getting some arm pump here and there. Just, I mean, I think I took like 6 weeks off or something like that, which was needed, but it felt good though. There's something just about after being off, sitting back on a dirt bike. It was awesome.
Have you gotten a hold of one of those new Hondas yet?
I have not, actually.
You have not?
Yeah,
okay.
No.
2020 is still working for Sexton. Sexton has said they're still working on that bike, the race bike. Yep.
Yeah. You know, I've been trying to set it up over the years and trying to get further and further. Well, it's interesting to see what the new bike will be like.
Yeah, that's a new Honda coming for 2021, but that's next year. Right now, the focus is right here on Zach Osborne, who did it in the best way he could. He had to get Cianciarulo to get the Moto win, GL, and he's making it happen, at least in Moto 1.
Yeah, nothing better than passing your competition and pulling away. It's a great feeling to have. And I just think the key is going to be, how do they feel second moto? You know, one of the things I believe is that because, like Ken alluded to earlier, the season just got pushed. The guys train. I really believe that some guys are running on fumes, like they're on the verge of burnout. So all the more critical for recovery between moto.
Yeah, and then day to day, and then recovered for next week. We'll be up in altitude in Colorado, so we're throwing everything at these riders. But Osborne handling it best in this one. Man, this track.
And this is Moto 1.
It won't quit. It's just throwing.
He's still going for it, yeah?
Yeah. 3.5 seconds. Cianciarulo matching it the last couple times around. There you still see him lurking, but we're only a few turns away. Zach Osborne. This is exactly the way he wanted to do it. Not just taking a moto win, but to do it straight up over the rider who's closing on him in the championship. It's only halfway through the day, but what a great first half of the day it is. Zach Osborne wins the first moto here at Jacksonville.
Oh, yeah.
And that's big. He wanted the look over from Cianciarulo, didn't get it. And there it is. So we'll be ready for the podium here. That was a big effort for Osborne, but he needed it to put this script back in the direction he wants. Osborne, your points leader, as big a moto win as you're going to get. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Jason, and congratulations to you, Zach. We just saw a replay there of that whole shot, and it was a battle from that point all the way through. Grant Langston called this a statement ride. How important was it for you there to get to the front here in this moto?
This was definitely the most important moto of the entire season for me so far, you know, to stop the momentum. Mr. Momentum was trying to change his address on me, and I had to kind of put a stop to it, so I knew that that was important. I was under a lot of pressure. I felt it today, you know, just the plate, the red plate carries that weight for you, so. I got to get up to the good Lord, man. This track is awesome. We got a beautiful Central Florida day, Northern Florida day, and Rockstar and Husqvarna bike was amazing today. We made a big shock change this week, which is something out of the ordinary for me, and it was really good. So props to Jim and Todd on that, and just everyone that's behind me. Thank you. We're going to go out here in the second moto and try to do the same thing.
Great. And what a battle that was up front there, Jason. Congratulations, Adam. It was so tight between the three of you up front there. When is that hotly contested? What goes through your mind? How critical is it each and every turn, every lap?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really think of it like that, right? If you think of, you know, if I make a mistake, a couple guys are going to get by me, you're probably going to go backwards. So just trying to keep the mind forward, focused on what you're doing. And I've had some practice with guys behind me here recently, so I was just enjoying it out front. Track's really tough for us. Obviously, first hot race of the year, really. And tough conditions, but feeling really good. Kawasaki has the bike dialed. You know, everybody, Chase, Marvin, Zach, everybody was riding great. Glad I was able to get out to a good start there, and it'll be a heck of a battle here in the second moto. Looking forward to it.
And I'm sure exactly what Marv needs at this point in the day. Marv, it's been a tough morning for you with that crash that we saw there in practice. So congratulations on taking the podium here. You obviously inherited it somewhat. When you saw that happen, what went through your mind and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm really happy to be standing on the podium for the first moto. I mean, I was standing in fourth, and that's all I had, and it was already pretty good. Obviously, I got lucky with the rider in front of me going down, so I got third. So, yeah, it's racing. You know, that track's super tough. I mean, it's really high speed, and it's starting to get very bumpy. So, I think it's good for me right now because it's starting to get a little bit technical instead of just pinning it. You know, you have to work on technique, so I'm looking forward to a good start and then be in the top guys for the second moto, so and be consistent.
Look forward to it. Thank you, Marv. Congratulations.
The all-new Geomax MX34 is the latest result of Dunlop's ongoing development with the help of top motocross pros. The all-new Geomax MX34 is the new industry standard for soft to intermediate terrain. Experience the advantage